How do you mute? Shout through. Nope, that'll be embarrassing. Wait, I think we can move.
So before we start, and since we are a traveling school, I'm from Morocco.
You feel satisfied for your long journey.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's fine. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we're officially starting. It is with great honor to welcome you to the Think Global School Symposium of 2019. I'm Kian and I'm from Vietnam.
My name is Marwa, and I'm from Morocco.
And we'll be your MCs for the day. Yay!
So Think Global School is a project-based traveling high school where students get the chance to travel and live in 4 different countries a year.
For the past school year of 2018-2019, our students from both Changemaker Cohort 1 and Cohort 2 have been working extremely hard to produce meaningful and creative projects that suit the aim of this unique curriculum to develop future changemakers to this world. And today, you will get the chance to take a close look at their wonderful works.
Greece is also the first and only term in the academic year where both Cohort 1 and 2 of the Changemaker curriculum get together as one big family to present our best products.
And I can promise you with confidence that with the presence of both cohorts, you leave today with nothing but a smile of satisfaction. And now, please welcome our two lovely principals, Adnan Machkovic from CM1 and Russell Cayley from CM2.
This one. So welcome everybody to the first symposium of the Changemaker curriculum. I think first of all, we want to say congratulations to the graduates who have their big day tomorrow. Congratulations on making it to the end of the Changemaker program. The first graduates to make it to the end of the Changemaker program. When the idea of the Changemaker curriculum was rolled out, I think we all, I can speak for myself, it was a huge change. And to live out this vision that Jamie and Joanne have given us is incredible. I think we're both deeply humbled to be teaching professionals and allowed to do what we do with the students that are enrolled in the school. It's deeply, it's very, we're very blessed to allow the students to follow their passions, to create what's meaningful to them, and they've done an incredible job. I hope today, have some patience, have some compassion. They are really unveiling their work, which is a huge thing. It's a brave thing to be judged this publicly. Be confident, guys. Your work's incredible. You've done so well this year. In CM2, we had a kind of saying all year, a kind of, I guess, quote, and that was, go alone, go fast, go alone. Go together, go far. And I think that is something, as a school, coming together like this, making these bonds, we will go far. I'm deeply committed to this vision of education. I think this is the only way it can go as we move forward, away from testing, away from league tables, away from all the things that really stifle creativity and innovation. So personally, huge thank you to Joanne, huge thank you to Jamie for giving us this opportunity. We are very thankful. To the students, congratulations to CM1 for completing another year. Thank you to CM2 students for being so patient in our first year, and have an amazing day. You deserve it, and be brave, be confident. Your work is of an incredible standard, and I think we're all really excited to see what we're going to see. You are going to present today. Have a great day.
What he said. One of our core values is Ubuntu. And parents, you probably get our emails and our reports where we say something along the lines of, so-and-so has shown great Ubuntu. And you're probably wondering, what in the world is that? The community. And today I hope that you leave with that feeling of community. I hope that you get to experience really what it is to be on site and to be with 40, 50, I don't even know how many of us, and really enjoy the passion and the effort that all of these students have put into their work. It's been incredible to watch them grow and accomplish what they have accomplished for us in these past 2 years and for CM2 in the past year. Graduates, you're completely different people to we were at the time, way back when. Congratulations to making it to the end. Juniors, good luck next year. You all have done an amazing job, but Ross has mentioned Joe and Jamie, who have been pushing us and giving us this privilege to make mistakes that we are making and learn through those processes, just like you are learning through your project. So thank you both for that, and especially a huge thank you goes to all of your educators and everyone who is working with you, both on-site and off-site, because none of this will be possible without them. I've mentioned this before in previous speeches. They're there when you're, doing the whole India thing and cleaning up after you. They're there when you're happy, when you're down, when you need food, when sometimes you need to be tucked in as well. There have been those incidents too. They've been there for you this whole road, and thank you, educators and everyone else who's put in the hours and effort into making this happen. Congrats.
Next up, and coming all the way from Madrid, we have Lisa from Sweden, our symposium scholar, and a TGS alumni from 2015. After graduating Lisa pursued her bachelor degree at the University of Nottingham in International Relations and is currently at the Swedish Chamber of Commerce in Madrid. On Friday, Lisa will teach us about the entrepreneurship, but today, Lisa will talk about what she wishes she knew before she graduated.
So what do I wish that I knew when I graduated from TGS? Well, first off, how to be more bold. And I don't know about you guys, but do you remember how nervous and how anxious you were when you were trying to get out of that little circle of comfort by applying to TGS, and while you were anxiously waiting for Lily just to respond to you and let you know what was going on with your application? Lily, are there any updates? Have I gotten in yet? When will I find out? I'm maybe a few years older than you guys are now, but I remember it just like it was yesterday. And that is why I decided to introduce my own magical number on how to be more bold. And that is plus 37%. And you might be wondering, 37%? Where's that number coming from? So I think it's just fair to give you guys a background story. So one day, when I was in Sweden, I was 14 years old, and I was reading the local newspaper. And there was this one article about equality. And what it stated is that overall men are 37% more likely to apply to jobs that they don't think they're qualified for. So they look at the job and they think, well, perhaps I'm not 100% qualified, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna apply anyway. And well, that kind of stuck in the back of my head. And I thought, what would happen if we all decided to do that? If everyone in this audience from today onwards decided to be just 37% more bold? But for me, the most important question was, what would happen if I, from today, would be 37% bolder just in everything that I do? And here we go with that personal example from my life. So I recently graduated, and with that process, you start looking at jobs and what you do. And I found two really exciting job positions. Both were at my dream company. We have option A, which you can tell by the perfect posturing computer, which I'm sure you guys use when you use your laptop. That it's quite an administrative job. Position B, or job B, on the other hand, it's more of a leadership role. And I don't know, and please, I want everyone to respond, or it's just going to be Chairman. Which option would you guys prefer? A or B? Okay, good, not just Chairman. So I looked at the criteria for job A, and I thought, well, I can do this. I have experience with administration, and I'm gonna apply. And I wasn't excited at all for the job, but it was also my dream company. Job B, I looked at it and I thought, well, I don't think I'm qualified, even if I try and push myself to be 37% more bold. Most people, well actually all the people in that position were 20 years senior to me. The job advertisement, it was filled with all this technical jargon. And I thought, well, who's gonna look at me? So I didn't apply, and with that I disqualified myself before even trying. And well, job A, what happened to that, you might wonder? Yeah, didn't get that either. But I guess I was really, really, really lucky. Because out of nowhere, one of their talent scouts in Germany, out of all places, they messaged me and they said, hey, we're really interested in you. Why don't you apply to this position? And she mean, that was kind of crazy. Why why did I have to be a stranger telling me what to do to believe in myself? And here I am, I've been trying to push myself so much to be just 37% more bold. And yeah, that was for my scary option, out of my comfort zone. And what happened is that I had several interviews. They just didn't stop with these interviews. And in the end, I ended up being one of their last remaining candidates out of many people applying. Didn't get that job either. But I did take away a lot of knowledge and experience and become much more wise from that. And I realized that up until now, perhaps what has hindered me hasn't been a small circle of comfort pushing me back, but instead, it might just be my own perception of my skills and experience. So even knowing that I've been to TGS and that I should put myself to be just statistically a bit higher, like all these middle-aged men were doing in Sweden back when I was 14, I realized that actually I was probably a lot higher than that. Or could be, if I would have gotten the job. And I remember in my first year of TGS in Washington, D.C., one of the guest lecturers mentioned that there is genius in boldness. And since graduating, I've come to realize that if you want to have something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done before. And well, in the case of us, the world's first mobile traveling boarding school, with the IB kids, and now the first graduating year of changemakers, congratulations by the way, we have to do perhaps things that nobody else has ever done and to push ourselves to be there. And if there's anything I want you guys to remember and take out from this presentation, and it's not that I didn't get those jobs, like please just erase that, remember this instead. It's not that you should be 37% more bold, because looking at TGS, I realized we don't fit on any charts. So why was I trying to compare us with those charts? Instead, from now on, I want to try to be 137% more bold. And I hope that you will all do that, because even no matter what you undertake, and if that goes wrong, you will gain experience, you will learn things. And I really wish I knew that I should push myself even further than I was already doing when I graduated from TGS. Thank you guys. I hope I'll see you on the next one.
So now I have a little bit of an interactive questions for you guys. Who in this room like to listen to rap? Please raise your hand. Oh, so we have quite a lot of people like rap and some people don't, but like it or not, because you are either gonna like it now or you're gonna love it. Thanks to this upcoming very special performance by one of our CM1 students as part of his summative projects for the Greece module. Please prepare to be amazed by our rapper, Justin Smith from the US state of Maine.
Test. All right, thank you, Kane. Just going to give a little bit of background. Our Greece module, which was this past one, obviously, we were looking back and reflecting on our lives, and especially our lives at TGS. And I came up with my story. We made a myth, and I made a myth, and then I was like, why don't I just turn it into a rap? Because I've always wanted to try rapping. So this is what I made. Can you start the song? I started my journey back as hard and thirsty for more than one person, not deserving, straining alone and hurt. I have a brand and it's burning. They call it trouble learning, so damn discouraging. I can't even find the word in. I was left brain and wordy, dreamed all day, wrote poetry, spoke with certainty, rarely choked on overflowing with potency. Dystopian school, I didn't go by the rules. I thought the teachers were cruel, like they just spit in their schools. I thought I found the groove, trying to cruise to the moves that were proved in the past, a disastrous ruse. So I laughed, I said pass, I can't master these tools. I'm alone on this raft, I'm a passenger fool, and I cannot last no more despite all my crafty words. I think I found my door, the light in this says explore. I'll fight till I find what works, a class in which I can soar. I think I just found the word, I am a challenger. I told myself, don't cry, don't give up, use your mind, yo, rise up, check the sky, no limits, you can fly. Now give it one more try, you can never die. Give it one more time, give it one more try. Don't lie, you'll live, don't cry, don't give up, use your mind, yo, rise up, check the sky, no limits, you can fly. Now give it one more try, you can never die. Give it one more time, give it one more try. A new life was started, I'll rewrite my part in it. I blew past the strife, take my knife and I'll carve it in. Academic coaching was approaching, I was hoping for a smoking gun that's loaded, a promotion which notes that I can blow past all the knowledge I had taken mental note. She like books on Joseph Stalin, J.K. Rowling, where's the hard ones? I can write down all this bullshit before college, still be brought up about it. Finding that this like in isolation isn't spotted. Makes me hot, so now I'm dropping eyes of patience, all just watching. And I know that everything that's promised hasn't even started. Now writing applications, hoping to create liaisons. I'm trying to see the bigger picture. Now I'm off to catch a flight non-stop onto another nation with a proper documentation. Heart is racing, I'm pacing across the phantom stage I painted, but it all just melts away when I see all my people's faces. But why are they looking gracious? All I've done to gain it. I told myself, pride, don't give up, use your mind, you'll run, check the sky, no limits, you can fly. Now give it one more try, you can never die. Give it one more time, give it one more try. Don't lie, you'll live, don't cry, don't give up, use your mind, you'll rise up, check the sky, no limits, you can fly. Now give it one more try, you can never die. Give it one more time, give it one more try. My teammates and I, we didn't see eye to eye. We would fight over nothing like we needed it to survive. I acted like I was right in spite of evidence denying me right out of relevance. My arrogance can make others cry. I would look at the sky, feel terrible, wonder why. I was always the guy who gave people serious eyes, the weariest smiles that meant nothing other than lies. Multiple tries with the same feeling a high. Empty returns, the same empty yearns, looking back at me like stabbing me. Porcelain grass is cracking me. The savagery, this brutal accuracy, this jack accuracy. They say that's what I gained, immaculate inaccuracy. I would get down on my knees, I could hear the beat of my heart. Need to defeat all their demons, all trapped in the dark. I'll wrap up this spark, defense my starts as I turn my attention to hit and restart. Yeah, I told myself, don't cry, don't lose your mind, you'll rise up, check the sky, no limits, you can fly. Now give it one more try, you never die. Give it one more time, give it one more try. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. That was dope. During this term in Spain, the CM2 art module worked on creating a variety of unique art pieces that blew our minds. Each art piece conveyed an important message and a different topic that was chosen by the students. Please welcome my two artsy classmates, Grace and Julia, who will talk more in detail about it, the engineering expression. Cool.
Hello, I'm Julia. I'm from Italy and Germany.
And I'm Grace from Australia.
And we're from CM2's Engineering Expressions module. So in our Engineering Expressions module, we've chosen to look at what is the process of an artist, what goes into an art piece, and how do we convey a message, which then brought up the questions of, okay, what does art mean to us, what do we want to convey, and how are we going to do that? So a really big question we had to ask us is, what is art, and is this art? So we have a little game for you. We're going to show you some art pieces, and we want you to tell us if you think it's art. So we'll start with the Mona Lisa. Who thinks this is
art? Just raise your hands.
All right. What about graffiti?
What about fashion, whether it be the design or the process?
Okay. And last, but certainly not least, big watermelon.
Yeah? My favorite. Okay, so as you can probably see, art is a very subjective thing. It can depend on who you are as a person, what your values and beliefs are, who you are, your religion, your race, everything kind of goes into how you see art. So our driving question for the term was, what are the processes for creating unique artistic expressions? And through this, we made our own art pieces.
So the first thing we asked ourselves was, well, where do we start? And we decided to start with the design cycle. So the design cycle is very useful when creating an art piece because it shows you that creating something isn't linear, which art definitely is not. So most of us started on the investigation and the planning phase, and then moved to create, and then a lot of us moved back to investigation and planning because, well, first try failed, and then we ended up at the evaluation phase. So what we found out in the art module is that we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents.
Like me.
Sure. And we found out that there were a lot of happy little accidents in the art module. Eng's creature, human, lost a couple of fingers, paint on the wall. Thomas's whale fell over a couple of times, paint on the floor. I mean, there was paint everywhere pretty much, so.
So all of our final pieces we found fit into 4 categories that we created. So the 4 were identity, mental health, environmental issues, and social issues. So when we displayed our art pieces, it was all in the categories. So we're going to show you 4 art pieces from each category.
So, the first one is Maddie Fair's art piece. And this is in the environmental issues theme. So she wanted to look at a fungus which in nature controls the insect population. And she was looking at what would happen if humans were infected by this fungus. What if the fungus started controlling the human overpopulation? And she used photography, acrylics, and embroidery.
Next we have Isis from the identity theme. So she looked at this philosopher's idea of the fear of change and the fear of change in identity and who you are. So she used black and white photography, paint, and wire to make the faces, and that's what this represents.
So then we have Pobbies, which is from the mental health theme. And she wanted to look at what happens when we internalize all of our emotions. So she was looking at mental health, but also just the broad, I guess, everyone's emotions, and what happens when we internalize those. So she used watercolor.
And next we have Cam's artwork, which was in the social issues. So he focused on the gay rights movement and how in some countries it has a death penalty. And so he did a pencil drawing of 2 males who are in love and have unfortunately gotten abused for being gay.
So you'll have the chance to go around later and talk to the artists themselves. There's quite a few of us, I think 16 of us were in this module, so we're open to any questions.
So then we found this quote which we think really sums up not only our module but the way art is viewed by society. So it says, every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once we grow up. And we thought that was really important because in this module we were given a chance to go back and be creative and be our young selves again and have the freedom to create whatever we wanted.
And now we'd like to challenge you to go find out what art means to you. Thank you.
you, Julie and Grace. That was really lovely. And now I have another question for you guys. So, have you guys ever got coffees that is used or contained in a paper cup? Raise your hand if you have. All of us have. Excellent. So, I have another question for you guys. Have you ever wondered how can paper cup be sustainably used for construction? Well, you're about to find out because through a project that is a perfect combination of service learning, mastery, and castle, which comes with the graduation requirements, on building paper cups, our lovely student, our lovely CM1 student, Paula Makina from Mexico.
Does it work? So, let me start by asking you, how many paper cups do you use every day? How many times do you go on a coffee date or a coffee run? Just grab something really fast. If you don't drink coffee, it can be tea. Most things that are takeaway are contained in a paper cup. Now, why is this important? I hope that you thought about the question about how many paper cups you use. Ideally, that number would be quite low because we've learned that our actions have an effect on the environment and on our surroundings. Realistically, that's not very true. As Kane just asked, all of us have raised our hand to show that we do use paper cups, but we really don't consider them an important piece of waste because we're always focusing on other things, other objects that are not everyday use, but something more like technology. Let's quantify the problem. 1 second. Let's start by looking at our community. On such a big stage, this doesn't look like that much. It actually, you probably can't see them because they can't match with the floor. But this are 164 paper cups. Why 164? Well, this is what I found would be equal to 2 days of just inside our community that we waste every day. This is just an approximate, which again, does not sound like it's way too much or that it actually has a bigger consequence. The problem is, one second. Paper cups can actually be recycled, even though they appear to be papery and sustainable, and then you just throw it away in the recycling bin and it'll go and transform to something else. Paper cups have this thin piece of plastic. See it? You can grab a paper cup later and I'll show it to you. That makes them not being able to recycle because it's a piece of very thin plastic called polyethylene. I hope I said that right. Now, let's take a bit of a step back and look at the bigger problem. Around the world, there are 16 billion paper cups were used annually. 16 billion. Out of all those 16 billion paper cups, only 6 million can be recycled. And it's mostly in countries like the UK or Australia. In other countries, such as Mexico, my home country, instead of finding a better solution to improve our recycling system, we decided it's a better idea to burn them, which is obviously worse for the environment and for everybody. I also found another problem in my community. I found a problem with poverty. In Querétaro, the state I come from, there are about 635,000 people that are considered to live in poverty. Out of all of those, 194 people are considered to be part of that poverty category because of the poor household that they live in. Why does this relate to paper cups? Well, as a 7th grader, 13-year-old me that was really passionate about the environment, I noticed that everything I did with my friends and with my family involved going out, getting coffee, going to movies, and mostly ended up with me with a paper cup at home. And I didn't really think that there was a problem until I realized that it can be recycled. And then I also realized that many people around me were begging for money, or there were houses that were not finished construction because of how expensive that is. So I started to wonder, how can I affect meaningful change in my community? What could a 13-year-old do?
At the time, forget. I forgot for about 2 years, or it was just in the back of my head. I was a bit more conscious of it, but there was really nothing major on it. Then, back in China, I had the opportunity to look into mastery and those graduation requirements like Kane said. And I wonder, what can I do? I want to help, I want to have an impact. So, I came up with the question, how can I create a construction brick out of paper cups, mixing those two problems that I had found in my community. Now, how's that going? Well, there's been many ups and downs through the setup. For one, I got this huge machine, about 2 meters tall, that was about 200 kilograms, that it was me and my mom getting out of the car. So, as you can imagine, we spent many hours trying to get it out of the car, and we had to look for the neighbors to come and help us out. And then I had to actually learn how to build it, which I had never done anything like it. Then I had to go around town collecting cups. So that's me and my sister going to different restaurants and chains to put a bid that said, put your paper cup here, help construct a house, something like that. I realized with that people don't read, they just throw whatever they can. And I also realized that few things are actually trash. They become trash once we mix them. It was one night that I went with my family to the movie theaters, and I collected 360 cups in one night that had been collected in about 3 hours. And out of all of those cups, it would have been really easy to separate them, except they were all full of soda, nachos cheese, popcorn, disgusting things. And then I had to wash them so I could use them for my trials and my experimentation. So after I got a bunch of Starbucks cups and got all my setup done, I was really excited. Still at the beginning, I was like, yes, I got this. Got all my equipment there. And then I started my first trial. So there's a few ways that you can construct with paper. There's been some techniques done before, except that they don't involve the plastic wax around the cups. So technically, it hasn't been done, but I was basing it off what people have actually done. And the two trials were part A, and first, I'm going to expand on part A. Part A involves soaking the paper cups for 3 days in water, so the paper becomes pulp and the plastic separates from it. And part B involves just adding the paper shreds into the mix to reduce the amount of sand. The main ingredients, let's say, because I also found that making a brick is kind of similar to cooking. You kind of just try it out and add a little bit more and be like, oh, that kind of worked. And I had my first set of trials, and that looks really good, except for the fact that it's not compressed. So even though I had this awesome, huge machine that took me hours to build, it was still not good enough. It would fall off, and one day I left it outside for it to dry, and the next morning half of the brick was gone because it was a windy night. So other bricks broke, didn't make it through the first trial, and then I moved on to the second part of trying it only with the paper cups shreds, with cement and water. It didn't really work out. It's not working out. I have a bunch of... That's why it didn't work out. It looked like it was working perfectly, but then they broke. Other times, it was a huge mess, like in that photo over there. So I had to clean. I was doing it in the garage of my house, so of course after that, my mom was like, take everything out and clean the whole house again. It took me a while. And it was a lot that I learned from collecting trash that people had thrown away to becoming more conscious about how I've been researching about this topic for a year, and I still haven't gotten a reusable coffee cup. Why? Because changing habits is hard. Because we are creatures of habits, that we are not the best friends of discomfort. Because of that is that we don't really change. So let's go back to those 164 paper cups. I'm not gonna go around the world collecting all those cups because there's 16 billion of them a year. And there's no way that a 17-year-old girl like me can make bricks of so many paper cups all by myself. The idea of this is to inspire other people who do have the resources, who can help me then make these bricks become homes for people. It's early in the process, but we're going there. We're getting there. So this 164 paper cups are about the same as 3
bricks, what equals 3 bricks, based on the formulas that I have, yet still very early stages, so I have a lot more work to do. But imagine all this space that is now all contained, and you can probably see it better with the light. Imagine that with the 16 billion cups. It's a tremendous amount of space that we're wasting. All the resources that we're investing in creating those cups that we will use from 3 minutes to maybe 3 hours of the coffee. That then all those cups will take each 20 years to decompose. But once they disappear, once they stop being thrown around in the floor right in front of us, we stop caring. We forget. Our priorities change. Just like we did, it was a big impact once I threw them out, but once they stopped falling out of the bag, they stopped being the center of attention. So we all kind of got distracted and followed on what the next thing was going on. The point is, to all of it, that many times being aware does not mean that we're gonna act. So, I just want you to be more conscious about what you do and see what effect you can have on the world and the people around you. Because a very simple idea that a 13-year-old had one random night out of the movie theater has now the potential of changing the world. Like Annie Leonard said, there is no such thing as a way. When we throw something away, it must go somewhere. Thank you. Now, from the land of the rising sun, Japan, 2 rays of sunshine followed us to Greece for Ravi's and Libby's personal projects.
Hello everyone, my name is David. I'm from Mexico. I'm in CM2. So the following video is a video that I made with a classmate of mine, Julie. The short film video is called A Hiroshima Story for the World, and it tells the story of the Hiroshima Hibakusha, which if you didn't know is a survivor of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. And the whole video is centered around a message of peace. I don't want to give too much away, so here's the video. Thank you.
When I was junior high school day, I went to the junior high school with old high school. At that time, there are no tree, no building over there. And if I play in the sun, I could found human form at that time. My name is Sean Poirier. I am 78 years old. I lived in west part of Hiroshima City. What do you Bye-bye. I don't remember because I was too young. I was 4.5 years old at the time. I was exposed today on 3 kilometers from Hype Center. We were walking around the hillside road, when all of a sudden a very bright flash. Next comes an overflowing blast of wind of deep sun. We almost blown away. Promptly, my sister covered me with her body, and we lay face down on the road. Two 200,000 people passed away.
How did the evolve change your life?
Completely change because my father passed away 6 days later. We had no income. We had to sell to get food. We became very poor. We cannot eat enough every day. We had to eat everything what we can eat. For example, grass, vine or seed potato. It's very important and event, I think, for next generation. Young people do not know what is very terrible, horrible, and spend very important resources, I think.
What do you think about world peace?
Very important for human beings because there are many important things. For example, global warming, shortage of food in future.
Do you think world peace is attainable? Do you think we can get global peace?
Of course.
Why?
We have to get world peace. If we do not get world peace, we cannot live long time. I think if nuclear bomb will be used in the world, there are no winner, there are no winner.
There's not much time left for us hibakusha. In hibakusha, the word hibakusha means survivor of an atomic bomb. But she said there's not much time left for us hibakusha. We must find ways to not create even one more hibakusha. And like many hibakusha of Hiroshima, she's made that a mission, and I think it's a noble mission, to go out and speak about what happened to her in an effort to prevent it from happening to anyone else.
Ravi. I'm from Indonesia, and I'll be presenting one of the video projects I've been working on throughout my time here in TGS. And I've been an editor for 3 years, and I've always been curious as to how I could share my creations with everyone. And luckily in this school, it's always been very open for me to share my creations with a lot of people, which I'm very thankful for. And as a result of this, the editing skills I've learned from self-teaching myself for 3 years is no longer very dormant. So I'd like to thank my school for that. But without further ado, please enjoy my video. Hey there, I'm Ravi. I was born in Indonesia. During my time here in Japan, with all the other students, I've experienced many different things and continue to be baffled by the country as a whole. Japan is home to many great wonders, ranging from the beautiful torii gates to the raw simplicity of the nature. Japan has an essence that no other country can replicate. After having stayed in Hiroshima for 6 weeks, we have come to realize that Japan has its own vibe. Just by walking around Hiroshima, we have been able to immerse ourselves in a culture that is truly unique to the core. However, after walking down Honduras Street for the 100th time, I have come to realize that one thing that stood out to me, and possibly to others, is the power of art and entertainment. Within the society of Japan, entertainment and art is a factor of the culture that has been spread across the world. It is something that you will see in every corner of Japan, and missing out on them is practically an impossible task. Art and entertainment in Japan always seem to find a way to get your attention, whether it's through vivid colors or amazing imagery. One of the most popular forms of entertainment in Japan are animated TV shows and Japanese comics, also known as animes and mangas. Anime started as far back as 1917, but it wasn't the same as what it is like today. On the other hand, manga was created in 1947, much later than anime. Anime and manga have become very popular today and is continuing to grow to other countries too. Because of its popularity, illustration studios have begun making their own adaptations of them, ranging from horror, action, comedy, and the romance genre. The number of animes and mangas available for the public to view has been skyrocketing over the past few years. As previously mentioned in the video, I was born in Java, Indonesia, and grew up in Jakarta. In this video, I will be talking about how anime and manga have manifested themselves in Indonesia in comparison to Japan, the country they originated from. After living in Jakarta for over 10 years, I have come to realize that anime has definitely made its way into the Indonesian TVs and streaming websites. Along with this, reading mangas have also become easier to read online due to the thousands of websites that serve as a platform for manga readers to use. Because of the easy accessibility, the community of anime and manga fans continues to grow after each new season. As the rise continues, more people are getting hooked to animes and mangas. So, what happens? Because of their growth in popularity, animes and mangas have begun to weave into Indonesian entertainment shops. How? Well, first, let's take a look at one variable: location. Location is very important for the growth of anime and manga, and they differ in both Indonesia and Japan. In Japan, anime and manga shops can be found in many places. For example, on Hondoori Road, there are 4 main anime and manga themed stores scattered around. The distance between each of them are very fair. They are far enough to attract each side of Hondoori, but close enough for people that are already inside of Hondoori to navigate between them. As for the shops themselves, some shops are extremely huge and stand strongly among the other shops. These shops are embraced well within the culture of Japan and are not hidden. However, it isn't the same in Indonesia. In Indonesia, anime and manga shops are only most commonly found in one specific place, and that's shopping malls. Although it may seem bizarre at a first glance, there is a very appropriate reason behind this. Anime and manga haven't been completely accepted by the society in Indonesia. Most shops are sheltered inside small shopping malls because they cannot support themselves well enough in larger settings. However, shop owners have thought about this. To fix this problem, anime and manga shop owners will set their stores inside shopping malls. The reason for this is because when school students are finished with school, shopping malls are the first destination they head to. After school ends, students reach out for entertainment to shift their heads away from school to something more interactive. But why school students? Well, the answer to that is quite simple. Most avid anime watchers range between the age of 15 to 18. This graph also shows people at the age of 20, 25, and over. Because anime and manga shop owners know that typical high school students are anime fans and manga fans, they will lay their stores in a place where there are students everywhere. The influence of animes and mangas within the two countries is also quite interesting. Let's take a look at Japan first. Anime and mangas are very much mainstream. Part of the reason why Japanese people have such an emotional attachment to animes and mangas is because most kids grew up reading and watching animes and mangas. Ever since they were a kid, they were exposed to animated TV series and many Japanese comics. As odd as it may seem, I also grew up watching anime when I was a kid. Even though they aren't as occasionally played on television as they are in Japan, there were enough merchandise and toys for me to fall in love with them. My mom and dad would often buy me a DVD of the latest Naruto movie, and ever since then, my attachment towards anime has kind of rolled itself. I would like you guys to think of a movie that you loved when you were a kid. Any movie. Anything. Now think about why you like it. Do you like it because it acts as an early memory to when you were a kid? Do you love the movie because it's something that you can look back to? Or did you genuinely enjoy the movie to the core? Whatever it is, one thing for sure is that some TV shows and movies can make us feel weirdly warm inside. The influence itself is also quite strong within the community that I live in. There was enough influence of animes and mangas to spread to my other school friends too. Growing up, I had many classmates who read similar mangas to me, and some of my closest friends are also avid fans. To this day, anime and mangas continue to grow. It isn't uncommon for people in Jakarta to arrange a hangout spot inside an anime entertainment shop. It also is quite occasional that people will sit down and read a manga after a hard day of school. And it certainly isn't rare for me and my friends to mess around in an anime store after watching a movie in the mall. Animes and mangas are slowly but surely getting its name in the culture of Indonesia. And who knows, maybe it will lead towards your country too. At the end of the day, whether you're a dedicated fan or not, try to pick up a book or watch an episode of a new anime show that recently came out. You might even like it and stay for a little longer, but you won't know unless you give it a shot.
Thank you to both of you for bringing all the memories back from Japan. Don't worry, get so much stuff done. Anyway, I hope you guys have more than a fantastic time with splendid presentations. Now, I know that we have been sitting for a while, so probably everyone wants to stand up and stretch. And if you stand up, you might as well go to the other room to see the booths down. Please take a look at their project, ask questions for them, and enjoy.